Now we turn to Carol Massar, who is in New Orleans, talking with David Neeleman, the founder of JetBlue, as well as the founder of Brazilian airline Azul. Carol?
Matt, thank you so much. Lots to talk about with David Neeleman. Excuse me, David. Nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Can I talk JetBlue first?
Sure.
How do you know, it was kind of crazy in the end in terms of how things happened. And
yeah.
I mean, this was your baby. You started it. I mean, when you look back, is there anything you think you could have done differently?
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah, sure. I think, the biggest thing is you communicate better with your board. I think boards have a certain view of the company, and it's incumbent on the CEO to kind of keep them appraised and what's going on. And, even then, I mean, to have a board, do what they did to a founders, wasn't right, obviously, and it hurt the crew members. It hurt the company for a while. And they're doing okay now and doing fine, but
right.
It just wasn't proper. It wasn't done correctly. But you move on and you learn from those experiences, and it's okay because things just keep moving forward.
And I want to talk about you moving on. I mean, but do you ever want to come back to the U.S. market?
Oh, I think there's, I don't know. I mean, the opportunity in Brazil is so huge. We have a higher market share in Brazil after a year and a half than JetBlue has today after 11 years.
I mean, the growth is tremendous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So the opportunity is big. Every time I fly on JetBlue, people are saying, "Oh, we miss you, and it's kind of not the same." And I say, well, just keep going. Just create what we started, and it's really cool, and keep doing a great job for our customers, and that's really the key. So, it's. You have a very developed market in the U.S. and you have
right.
a very underdeveloped market in Brazil.
What's more exciting? I mean, what?
Oh, Brazil's more exciting because every city. We're actually going into cities now that don't have air service.
I've flown in Brazil.
Time.
It's a little crazy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. We're flying between cities. 80% of our routes didn't have air service at all.
Right.
We first started flying. It didn't have service between these cities. We're generating between two cities today. We have 11 flights a day between two cities that didn't have service a year ago. So it's really more exciting to be in a developing mode.
It's tremendous growth. I'm curious, is the end result or the end outcome that you hope to do, is it an IPO eventually?
Yeah, we have investors, the U.S. investors and Brazilian investors, and eventually you have to have some kind of exit. And, it's a capital-intensive business, so that's certainly something that will have to happen eventually. But right now the company's cash flow positive. We have lots of money in the bank. I control the company, which is something I didn't have at JetBlue, which is really nice. Yeah, it's a big lesson learned. But so I have control over that, and so I'm very sensitive to my investors and making sure they make a great return. And so it's all about timing and really. So we haven't decided if we will or when we will, but sometime in the future.
Help me out though, David, because I think back in June, your CEO said something that you were considering an IPO in 1 or 2 years. I mean, you do have strong inflow into Brazil, and the prospects for their economy is crazy. I mean, is that a possible time frame, 1 or 2 years?
We just don't have a time frame, and the nice thing about being public is I don't have to tell you anyway, so, that's really the nice thing, and so I'm happy with it, yeah. So,
I mean, what would hold you back from going public in the near future?
Yeah, being public's a pain. I got to sit and talk to people and talk about the earnings and why you didn't miss this and why you missed that, and, sit and call analysts and try to explain things, and
right.
If you don't really need the money, and if you, your shareholders are being patient, then there's really no urgency to go public.
Hey, what about the LATAM deal, the Brazilian carrier TAM and the Chilean airline? I mean, how does that affect your business, or does it at all?
It really doesn't. I mean, I think it's interesting because I don't really see a lot of synergies between the two.
Right.
Other than maybe management, and maybe best practices. People in Brazil are they want to go to the United States, they want to go to Europe, or they want to stay in Brazil. There's no really a lot of interest in going to other places in South America.
And it's a big market just flying within Brazil, isn't it?
Inside of Brazil, it's as big as the continental United States. We have 200 million people in Brazil.
Right.
The market size is 67 million. In the U.S., it's 750 million. So we have a long ways to go in Brazil, just mining what we have domestically.
All right, going to leave there. And I'm going to ask you again, could there be a JetBlue 2 for you here in the U.S.?
I've just turned 51. I'm feeling kind of old. No, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's certainly.
But you're not closing the door.
I would never close the door, because then they'd say, "Well, you said on Bloomberg back in New Orleans in 2010."
We'll do that. We'll do that. And when you go public, eventually, you'll still have to keep talking to us. David Neeleman, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. David Neeleman.